For the first time ever on Q30 television, we have Quinnipiac student athletes in studio to go toe-to-toe with and debate our analysts. There's a lot to discuss and dive into, so let's get started. Bobcat Breakdown begins now. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Bobcat Breakdown. I'm Dylan Fearn, and I'm very excited to be here tonight because for the first time ever on Q30 television, we have Quinnipiac student athletes in studio to debate our analysts. Tonight, we start on the hardwood. To my right is women's basketball beat reporter Brian Schwartz, and to my left is a Quinnipiac women's basketball captain, Adelie Martucci. Guys, how are we doing?
Doing well.
Great.
Excited, ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, let's do it. Adelie's Bobcats are absolutely rolling right now. After beating Iona on Friday night by 8 and Manhattan on Sunday by 20, Quinnipiac is on a 5-game winning streak and has clinched at least a top 2 seed in the MAC tournament, which takes place in Albany from March 2nd through the 6th. Adelie, we'll start with you. If you had to pick one, which team would you, your teammates, and your coaches want to absolutely avoid come MAC tournament time?
Avoid? I don't think we're coming in trying to avoid anyone, really. I think whoever we have facing was meant to be, and we like to embrace the challenge, whoever it might be.
Brian,
Well, I think, I think it's Iona. I think to be the best, you got to beat the best. I think we can all agree on that statement. And Iona knows that you guys are the best. Everyone knows that you guys are the best team in the MAC. Iona wants to face you guys. They want to come back at you guys after you won big against them in the last game. I feel like Marina Lizarazu, there's no way she's, yes, you played great defense on her, but there's no way she's going to only have 4 points again. She's too good a player. She's the best player in the MAC, I'd say. And she's going to be there. Alexis Lewis is going to be there, who's a phenomenal player. I think Iona wants to face this Quinnipiac team again.
You want to go at Iona? You don't want to avoid them whatsoever?
I personally don't. I'm a little salty at the fact that we lost last year, and to them, I would like to see them go down against us, probably in a championship game.
But would that be the one team, if you had to pick one, if you had to avoid one team, are they the toughest team to face, or is it Ryder?
I would say that they are, just because last year they beat us, and so many emotions are behind that game. So I think, with that said, that would probably be the toughest. You also have great players like Lizarazu. For one, she's really hard to guard, and I'll give that to her 100%. She's one of the hardest guards I've had to face personally. So yes, it's going to be tough, but would I want to see them go down against us? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they're definitely, I mean, we've called them your rival now, and I think they really are. You guys have been playing really close games against them, and I think this is a team that you guys, I mean, I'm sure you obviously said you just want to face them. They're such a tough team, but they want to have that comeback against you after you guys just beat them in the second game. So I could see why that they would want to face you guys again.
Iona's tough. Ryder right there at 14-3 in the MAC with Quinnipiac at 15-3. 2 games to go for the Bobcats. Let's move on. Adelie, your team has many strengths, as we know. 15-3, clinched the top 2 seed in the MAC tournament, has been to a conference championship game 3 straight years. But when you look at the team, what's one weakness? What's one area the team has to work on heading into Albany that you guys are really pinpointing at?
Well, for one, I would say our defense is amazing. So I would think offensively is something we could definitely work on. In the beginning of the year, we obviously struggled a lot offensively, trying to click, trying to, get set in our system, which actually changed throughout the season. So I think offensively is one of the things that we really need to work on. I think it's getting better throughout these games. It's been getting better, but we can obviously work on our offense.
Defense, rebounding has been great as well. Brian, your weakness heading into the MAC tournament.
I mean, I totally agree that offense is so key for you guys. Shooting the 3 ball is very important for you guys as well. But I go with Paula Stroutman's foul trouble. She's one of the most important players on this team. And we see when she gets in foul trouble. When she got her 3rd foul against Iona this past week, Iona went on a 5-2 run. When she got her 4th foul against Fairfield the other day, Fairfield went on a 7-2 run. When she got her 4th foul against Iona in the first game, Iona went on a 7-3 run. They took a 10-point lead. When she fouled out, 14 points. They ended up winning at the end. So Paula Straubmane is so important to this team, and you can't have her in foul trouble because you need her to be that tough post player down low.
How key is it with Paula off the court for you, to stay on the court for you guys?
I absolutely agree with what you just said. She is a major part of our offense and our defense, and to have a big body like that, to be able to rebound, she's a great rebounding machine for us. So we need that. That's key to our success.
On to the next one, guys. Let's talk about the gold rush. You guys have used it in the past, 5 players in, 5 players out. It has worked in the past, but you guys haven't really been using it as of late. Do you think you guys are better without it?
For our situation, with Brittany Johnson going down, it was really hard to be successful with 5 in, 5 out just because she was such a crucial part in our offense. And her going down with that injury, I think that, coaches made a good call. She's always, throughout this whole year, have made really great calls with what to do concerning our team. And I think that with Brittany Johnson out, it was really hard to do that 5 in, 5 out. But whatever coach says, we're going to do. And I think I'm totally behind her with whatever decisions that she makes moving forward. She is a very smart lady and a very successful one at that. So I'm just going to go with what she says, and so is our team.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, Adelie. I mean, you guys are 5-0 since you went away from the Gold Rush. And we've even seen it with your individual play. 12.8 points per game in those 5 games where you haven't played on the Gold Rush. You were 9.3 points per game before. Aaron McClure, 13.4 points per game after, 7 points per game before. So there's obviously a big difference between the play of some of your better players and some of your more important players. And now you obviously also maximize the lineup where you have the 7, 8 best players playing all the whole game, where you don't have the 10, 11 players that you're going through.
Adelie, you mentioned the absence of Brittany Johnson. How does that really affect you guys moving forward, and how has it affected you, so far with her being out?
It was really saddening to see her go. For me personally, me and her, get through practice well together, and just offensively, her being on, my lineup, my 5, I enjoyed really playing with her, and I know the rest of our teammates have. And it sucks to see her go down like that, but she's a crucial part on the sidelines, just, coaching us up, telling us what to do. But she was huge. She was huge, and we just had to adapt to her being gone.
Yeah. The Bobcats.
I mean, you guys have definitely recovered after. It was tough for the first couple of games, but you guys have won a bunch in a row. You've won 5 in a row. You're on a good roll right now. Also, since Johnson's been out, Sarah Schoen has really stepped up her game. 7.7 points per game and 5.1 rebounds per game since she's been out. That's key, and Sarah Schoen's played really well. And also, as long as Paula Straubmane stays out of foul trouble, you have the presence at the forward position that can play really well, and that could be key for you down the stretch.
Adelie, last one. This is just for you. One word to describe a Trish Fabry practice. What is it?
A Trish Fabry practice. Oh, there's so many. That's a hard question because there's so many words that can describe that. But, oh, God, that's a hard one.
What emotions are you going through during a whole, very long practice?
Well, I really think, energy. It's hard work. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. She's a really enthusiastic coach, so she likes high intensity, high energy stuff. I would say competitive.
Gotcha.
Competitive.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and good luck the rest of the way and in Albany.
Thank you very much.
Brian, thank you as well. You'll be back. But it's time for our own Gold Rush 2 in and 2 out. Coming up next, women's ice hockey captain Emma Woods will discuss her team's season with Matt McAuliffe and yours truly. Don't go anywhere. Bobcat Breakdown. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? So what?
If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say, yes, there is a controversy.
Line, getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monmouth player.
Coming up on hashtag that.
are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. We just completed a line change, if you will. Joining me now is captain of the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team, Emma Woods. Emma, how are you?
I'm great.
It's good to have you here. And joining us is Matt McAuliffe, a women's ice hockey beat reporter. Matt, how's it going?
Doing great, Dylan. Always good to talk hockey.
Ready to dive in?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Emma's women's ice hockey team completed a very important sweep last weekend over RPI and Union to end the regular season. Quinnipiac heads into ECAC playoffs this weekend as the 5th seed. Bobcats will face 4-seeded Princeton on the road in a best-of-3 quarterfinal series starting Friday. One of the important pieces to Quinnipiac's success will be goaltender Sydney Rossman, who broke the program record for most career shutouts with 26. Emma, there have been some very good goaltenders come through the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey program, but is Rossman the best of all time?
I think so. I mean, obviously I haven't played with all of them, but just the way Sid competes, like, ever since she was a freshman, she didn't get to start her first 2 years, and she still competed every practice with Chelsea Layden and competed for that top spot. And I think she's proved herself, and this past weekend she proved it with the shutout record, but I think she is the best goaltender Quinnipiac has seen.
Matt, your response?
Yeah, well, Emma, I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. I think Emma is the greatest of all time, the greatest goalie of all time that's come through this program. Last year when she was ECAC goaltender of the year, her goals against average was .9. That's ridiculous as a goalie. And like Emma said, like you said, Dylan, 26 shutouts, breaks the franchise record. Granted, you also have to give credit to the defense as well. Emma Greco is currently leading the team in block shots with 59. The defense is doing good work. Sydney Rossman's confidence is up, and she is most definitely the greatest goalie this program's seen.
Emma, you mentioned Chelsea Layden. You played with her for 2 years, and now Sydney Rossman for 2 years. Why is Sydney Rossman just a little bit above Chelsea Layden in your eyes?
I think
Is
just how competitive she is.
Yeah.
Not just a numbers thing. Chelsea, I mean, they competed too. Like when the first 2 years, and when Chelsea was here, there was a battle. Like it wasn't like, oh, Sid's better, oh, Chelsea's better this practice. You know, they always competed and they always found a way to like push each other. And I think, I don't know if you could really say, oh, Sid's way better, but I just think the way she competes and has competed all 4 of her years, she's really gave herself that title, I think.
Now let's talk the NCAA tournament, and Matt, we're going to start with you on this one. What are Quinnipiac's chances of making the NCAA tournament, and what do they have to do in the ECAC playoffs to ensure that bid, which will be their 3rd straight?
So Dylan, I'm going to start in order. I'm going to go to start with the ECAC tournament. In the ECAC tournament, in order to beat Princeton in the first round, Emma, yourself, TT Cianfrano, and Megan Turner have to stay out of the penalty box. Like in the games against Princeton, they were all in the penalty box, and they cannot be offensively productive if they're in the box. If they want to set up on the power play and be effective and be sharp on the power play, they got to stay out of the penalty box. They got to stay in the game. As for the NCAA tournament, Emma, I'm sorry. I don't think you guys make it this year. Clarkson is such a powerhouse. Clarkson was 19-1-2 in conference play this year. Shea Tiley in between the pipes, a total of 621 saves. And against Rossman's 515 total saves. Clarkson, they also averaged 3.6 goals a game against Quinnipiac's 2.6. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a grind in order to make the national tournament. But Emma, I must say, last year you guys got robbed. Last year you got robbed. The puck was dropped way too early, and that goal should have never happened. So that's what I think about the tournament. That's what I think about that.
Well, let me ask you this. If they make the championship game and lose, are they in?
That's tough as well, Dylan, because Quinnipiac right now, they find themselves at the 5 seed, so it's going to be tough. I think they must win the ECAC tournament if they want to make the national tournament.
It's an automatic bid if they do win the tournament. Emma, your response to Matt, who doesn't think you're going to make the NCAA tournament?
I don't know if I can agree. I mean, obviously our record compared to last year, maybe you guys, people wouldn't think so, but I think the way we practice this year, I look at our team and I think there's almost every practice I'm like, we have more this year, and obviously we haven't shown that in every single game, but I think our goal as a team is to be playing our best hockey at the end of the year. And our last 6 games, we've been building, and we haven't won every single one, but we've been getting better each as a team. And I think this week in practice, we worked a lot on the special teams, and I think that's going to be important. But I think if we can take it, this weekend against Princeton, I think we have a good chance.
Let me ask you this: where does the confidence come from, after knowing that you've already lost to Princeton twice, and now you got to go to their own house and win 2 out of 3?
I think knowing how far we've come since those games, and there's a lot of things that we would have taken back, the penalties and simple plays that you can look back and be like, that could have changed the game, and I think Sid has so much confidence right now in our team with practice and the chemistry. I think we've reached a spot where we do have that confidence, and I know we lost twice, but I don't think that changes how we feel against Princeton.
I can't deny that. The last 6 games, they have absolutely, Emma, you guys have absolutely been playing the best hockey you guys have ever played. The power play looks sharp. The defense is laying the body out in front of the puck.
Yep.
They look phenomenal these past 6 games. I have to agree with that.
Now, Emma, your freshman year, you guys just missed out on the tournament. If BU hadn't beaten BC in the Hockey East Championship game, you guys would have been that last spot. Sophomore year, you make the tournament, but you have the road game and you lose to Harvard. Junior year, you get the home game of the tournament, but you lose to Clarkson. It seemed like this year was going to be the year where you're getting a little better every single year, and this is the year to make the Frozen Four and dominate the regular season, and it hasn't really panned out just yet in terms of making the Frozen Four and stuff like that. Why has that been the case, and have you guys exceeded expectations, met expectations? What's been going on in terms of expectations?
I mean, I think expectations were really high this year. Obviously, we won the ECAC regular season and the ECAC championship game last year. We lost 1-0 to Clarkson. So we were right there, and I think the expectations were high, but I think as a team and the way we practice, I feel like we are meeting our expectations. I don't think our record necessarily shows that, but I think we've had a lot of adversity this year, and I don't think we had a ton last year, and maybe that could have changed where we played in that game, but I mean, I think we played a great game, but I think this is only going to help us moving forward, and I think if we get that opportunity, I think we're going to be ready.
Have they met expectations?
It's tough to say that they have. I mean, like you said, Dylan, Kate McKenzie, she redshirted. She was coming in as a freshman. Emma Greco was back. The band was back with you, TT, and Samo. Cianfrano, ECAC Player of the Year, scoring 52 points last year. And Cianfrano now, she only has 26. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say that they've met expectations, but Emma, like you said, you have the heart, you have the fundamentals. They have what it takes to be competitive in this tournament, but it's tough to say because it's hard to say why this team goes from a 30-win season to a 20-win season. It's tough to say that they've met expectations when you had so many returning players, so much expectations. The hype just missed the Frozen Four and to only have 20 wins. It's tough to say.
You mentioned adversity. What adversity did go on within the team this season that you mentioned?
I think just the numbers. It's hard to ignore that, and obviously we work to ignore that, but when you don't have the wins that you had the year before, and you don't win those close games I think last year we did win those close games, and I think that's adversity because especially for freshmen who this is their first year, and a lot of our freshmen have big roles on our team this year, and kind of seeing that and knowing how well we did last year, I think it is adversity, but I think we have so many leaders on our team that help those young players get over that, and we all believed in each other, and it comes down to heart and believing that it's not all about the wins, but how we want to produce and how our goal is to play our best hockey, and no matter what the score is, we want to be playing our best hockey, and I think that is something we just continue to build from and don't get so caught up in the records.
Now, you mentioned a 30-win season to a 20-win season. In your opinion, why has that been the case? Why has there been a drop-off in the wins?
I feel that the drop-off in the wins has to come from...
You mentioned the scoring and Cianfrano and Samiskevich and Emma. And is that why there has been a drop? Because the scoring hasn't been as high as normal? Or?
Yeah, you could say that, Dylan, because Cianfrano, like I said, now is at 26 points. Emma, you are at 23. And it's tough because Cianfrano, she goes, like I said, from 52, an ECAC Player of the Year, to 26. I don't know, it may affect the team mentally that she's not offensively being productive. It may affect leadership, locker room mood. There's a lot to factor in to missed expectations.
Okay. Now, Emma, we asked a similar question to Adelie, and I'll ask it to you. One word to describe a Cass Turner practice. What is it?
I was going to say compete. I think Addie kind of stole that one, but it's compete every day. We work to compete with each other, and we're split up into blue and gold, and we compete, and we challenge each other every single practice, and I think it's compete for sure.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Matt's going to stay here. When we come back, Brian is back on the desk. We still have to talk men's basketball and men's ice hockey, plus the game of the week. So don't touch that remote. We'll be right back.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Iman Whalen with a little cheat off the pipe.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say yes, there is a controversy.
Line, getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another monumental player.
Back to the hardwood with men's basketball as the Bobcats find themselves in a bit of a hole. After getting to 7-7 in MAC play, Quinnipiac has now lost 4 games in a row and sits at 7-11 in conference play. With just 2 regular season games to go before the MAC tournament, Tom Moore's squad is 8th in the conference standings. Brian, we'll start with you. Quinnipiac has not been playing well, and they will be playing on March 2nd in the first round. Do they even win a game in the MAC tournament?
I think it definitely depends on which team they play. And going through the rest of the season, if every team wins the games that they're supposed to, Quinnipiac will win a game. Because if every team that's supposed to win their games wins their games, they're going to be facing Niagara. Niagara will be 6-14, and Quinnipiac would be 8-12. Quinnipiac has already beaten Niagara twice, 89-81 and 81-78. The 89-81 win was without Donovan Smith, so they've proven that they can do it without Donovan Smith's presence. I think they definitely can.
Matt, your response to that? Did they win a game?
Dylan, they don't even smell the second round. There is no way that this team is developed enough to go to the second round of the tournament. You have the freshmen Mikey Dixon and Peter Kiss. They're not developed in the playoffs. They haven't seen it at the collegiate level. And Brian, there is no way that they are developed with Donovan Smith's absence.
Peter Kiss has gotten it done in the stretch time. You saw that in the Fairfield game where he had the game winner.
They're not there yet. They are lacking in the rebound category. They are not there yet.
Now, let me ask you this. If they are the 8th seed, then they play the 9 seed, which would be a team technically under Quinnipiac. You don't think they can even win an 8-9 game? Or if they somehow get the 7 seed, a 7-10 game? Why?
They don't have the rebounding with Smith out.
But don't you think that if they're the 7 seed playing the 10, that they would play a team that also doesn't have the rebounding, or an 8-9 where they're also just the favorite?
Sure, but like I mentioned earlier, the young talent. The young talent is not there. They aren't developed in the playoffs yet. Peter Kiss and Mikey Dixon are coming into a whole new beast with playoffs. They're going to be, I feel that they're going to be shook. They are not going to be shooting correctly. They're going to have the shakes. Their field goal percentage will go down.
Brian, your response to that?
I think Peter Kiss and Mikey Dixon are definitely ready for this. They've showed it this whole season that they seem to win a MAC Rookie of the Week every single week. They're ready for this. They have gotten the experience through this whole season. They've played in a couple big games so far. They've played against Gonzaga. They've played against these big-time teams, and they've played well. Peter Kiss had one of the best games of the season against Gonzaga. So I would say that they're ready.
Playoffs, Dylan? We're talking about the playoffs.
I know. And teams that usually do well in the MAC tournament have senior guards and can play defense, and Quinnipiac does not have that. So we will see. But shifting from men's basketball to men's ice hockey. The Bobcats split this weekend, losing at Union Friday and defeating RPI on Saturday. Matt, we'll start with you. Quinnipiac currently in 5th place in the ECAC standings and 2 regular season games remaining. Do the Bobcats win a game in the ECAC tournament? A game?
They do. As much as this ice hockey team has struggled, they do. Because if they were, my predicted opponent for this men's ice hockey team is Brown. Brown is 4-21-2 overall, 3-16-1 in conference play. They're a poor team. And Brown has not established anything this year. Shortridge, if he's in between the pipes, I like his confidence. And Quinnipiac is scoring 3 goals a game versus Brown's 2.26 goals a game. And they're shooting 35 times per game as well. If this men's ice hockey team wants to score, they got to shoot, and shooting is what they are doing. I think they have what it takes.
You talk about Shortridge's confidence. What confidence? He hasn't played in a big game yet in his career. You don't know how he's going to face under pressure. And the other thing is, they only beat Brown 1-0. That's not enough to really consider them the top team and being able to beat them. Yes, I know the records are different, and the record is much better, but that doesn't mean they're that much better. They only lost 1-0.
Win's a win. If you walk away any game with a W, win's a win.
It's close enough that it's close.
Sticking with the men's ice hockey team, the Bobcats face bitter rival Yale on Friday, and that is our game of the week. Gentlemen, who wins the Battle of Whitney Avenue and why? Brian?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with the surprise pick here. I think Yale's going to win. Just like I said before, I don't know who's going to play in goal, but the goalie problem has been a huge problem for Quinnipiac so far, whether it's Andrew Shortridge or Chris Truhl. Chris Truhl struggled. He let up 3 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds a few weeks ago. Andrew Shortridge, he's a freshman. You don't know how he's going to do in that kind of atmosphere. Packed TD Bank Sports Center. It's under pressure. It's a tough game to win. You don't know what they're going to do. And the other thing is, Yale has not beaten Quinnipiac since the 2012-2013 national championship game. They want this game. They're due for a win against Quinnipiac.
Matt.
Dylan, these Quinnipiac students sit at their computers for hours, refreshing for a ticket
They're
to this game.
They're not the ones playing.
Brian, they camp outside the arena for this game.
They're not the ones playing.
The energy in this arena is going to be electric. Quinnipiac destroyed them 5-2 last time. Prisky is on fire. 2 goals last time he played Yale. The crowd's going to be intense. Nick Germain also had 2 goals, Brian, against this Yale team. The offense is going to be moving. I feel like if they get on the power play, they're going to be dangerous. If Quinnipiac moves the puck like they did last game, stays confident the way that they did last game, they can get a W here.
Okay,
it's a lot of ifs.
You have Yale, you have Quinnipiac. Who are the difference makers in this game on Friday?
Difference makers, obviously, the goalie play for me. I think whether it's Shortridge or Truhl, one of them has to step up, one of them has to face the pressure, and one of them has to have a great game. That's what you got to do in a rivalry game like this, where the crowd's going to be on top of you. Everything's got to go right.
Brian, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think it's the goalie situation because they tried to put Truhl in, struggled, and Shortridge, I think, has been solid in between the pipes for this men's ice hockey team. I get it. He's a freshman. I get it. Big game. But I'm telling you, if he's in between the pipes, I think he can gut. I think he has what it takes to bring the Quinnipiac Bobcats to a win.
So you have Quinnipiac, you have Yale. It's going to be a raucous TD Bank Sports Center come Friday. Gentlemen, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you for your insight and analysis. It is much appreciated. For more information, follow us on Twitter at QBSN and Q30 Sports. And don't forget to check out our website at Q30television.com. For Brian Schwartz, Matt McAuliffe, Adelie Martucci, Emma Woods, and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Dylan Fearon. Good night.